Good morning. It's Ginny, Eli,
Hello.
and Tim
Hello.
at DS Tech in Escanaba, Michigan. Oh my gosh, it's been a beautiful fall so far. What if you could have a personal assistant for everyone in your company?
It's pretty good.
Yeah,
What if
Well,
you
time.
could?
it would save a lot of time. There's a lot of things you can do with the tools that we're going to represent here and talk about. So
yeah.
as we go, listen for some keywords because I have some stuff that you can use in your, quest for these personal assistants. So anyway, the keyword will be AI.
Yes.
Go ahead.
So this episode, if you haven't guessed by now, is going to be about using AI tools to assist you in your everyday life at work, kind of talk about some of the stuff it's doing on the back end and just kind of, AI is going to be here. It's not going away and how you can make it more efficient with your company and some different use cases maybe you didn't think about. So first, what is AI? If you're not familiar at all with it, it's basically just, they call it artificial intelligence, but essentially it's just automation. People are writing basically computer programs that can learn off of itself and inputs that it's given without a human to update it again. So it's like a self-learning program, but it's still programmed by someone, so it's still not going to just go wild. So they help by transforming repetitive tasks, analyzing large data sets that a normal human can't analyze at an impossible speed, and helping businesses make maybe better decisions about their future based on past profits, things like that. So a common one that's being used right now in the industry, if you haven't used it or tried with it, is drafting emails. So you can draft emails based on minimum inputs, allowing professionals to save time. You can suggest using more professional language, explain it like I'm five, because if, me as a security person, sometimes I speak technical and you can talk over some people's heads, but if I have an email, I can say, here's a very technical write-up, and I'll send that to maybe the IT team, but then I can say, please rewrite this for an executive who's not so technical, and it will rewrite it in terms of like business risk and things that they're familiar using. So you can use it to help you with recreating your emails very fast, depending on your target audience.
On a personal level, I had like a situation where it was a little bit sensitive, right? But I wanted to come off, I didn't want to come off as all like, I wanted it to sound professional, but I had a lot that I wanted to point out. So I just said, okay, AI, here are all the thoughts and the feelings and that's going on with my daughter in this situation. Help me write an email that sounds professional and doesn't attack the person, that just points out some of the issues, and it was amazing.
Oh, wow.
It just
that's
point
awesome.
by point by point. I'm like, that's perfect.
Yeah, articulate
Like,
this.
I know, and it was not
That's
aggressive.
cool.
It was
That's
just
cool.
professionally said.
Right. And even if
In
the
a
first
tactful
draft
manner,
was a little aggressive, you could be like, can you tone that down one more
Exactly.
notch? And it would just spit out another example for you.
Right.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
I didn't end up having to use it anyway, but it was
Hey,
just
good to have.
I know, but
my goodness.
or there was another situation where we're like, I just don't know how to say this.
Yeah.
I'm like, so I just put in all just blah 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 blah. I just spit it out, and then I said, use this and write an email for me, and it just like
that can be useful for a whole host of people that are new to business or to executive roles or to just to new environments that they're not used to. Like, oh well, I know what to do here.
How do I
went to
word this for an
college,
IT
but,
professional that I'm
how do
talking to?
Yeah, and it's like, well, how do I get to their level without pandering, or how do I not have it be Greek or all
So very good for that, and then your communications, all that kind
it's
of
really
stuff.
cool.
Yep.
Very handy.
So very similar to emails, it's also being used heavily in the marketing section. So whether you are creating blog posts, social media captions, sometimes we get ideas for this show just from AI, I'll be honest with you.
Literally, I asked it to come up with hooks.
Give
I said
10 topics,
10 hooks for this topic, and then it just boom, boom, boom. Yep.
So you can basically make marketing tools personalized towards individual customers, maybe your business at your section you're trying to target. If you're in retail or financial or whatever you're in, you can kind of tailor your stuff towards those specific industries using AI, using terms that are common in those industries for you. So basically companies like Amazon will use AI to provide personalized product suggestions, increasing customer retention. So they're also using AI to, look at your buying habits, spending habits, and then offer you suggestions based on your past purchase history, which they've obviously used to do, but using AI now, they can take that to the next level. And sometimes it's almost creepy of how did you know I was looking at this right now?
Do you think Amazon Prime videos and Netflix are using that?
Probably because they look at your history of habits, and then a lot of these social media sites too. It's like you'll have an online profile, and a lot of them may actually trade information between each other. And like your profile from Facebook might actually influence products you're buying over on Amazon and things like that. They're all kind of linked. Oh yeah, if your daughter's like, say you have a family account, and you're like, why am I getting all these weird shows I never watch? It's because someone else in your family's probably watching those episodes on the family account, right?
Yep.
So that's also where it's used in marketing, helping businesses make decisions and target their
also in
better.
Marketing. What I do is I tell AI to pretend you are Frank Kern, which is like a big marketer, and use his voice and write this for me, stuff like that.
His tone,
wow.
Yeah.
It can be very. That's
if
pretty
you
cool.
need help with any of those prompts, by the way, I have a cheat sheet on how to how to word your prompts, and it's a whole sheet that tells you all kinds of little clues like that. So
and that's the trick, is that when searching engines first came out, everyone was trying to look for stuff, and certain people can like Google stuff and they seem to always find the answer right away, where other people might take 2 or 3 searches. So there's like a skill to Googling, I guess. You just learn through habit. It's going to be the same thing with AI, where those who are practicing with it now are playing with the prompts, trying to get different things, and it's going to be a whole how do you get the most out of AI by how you're phrasing it, because you can ask it the same question 5 different ways and you're going to get 5 different answers depending on how you phrased your prompt. So.
Yep, and make it more effective. That's what I have for you. I have a cheat sheet. Type AI and I'll get it to you.
Awesome. That's pretty cool. So also it can do rough drafts. We talked about emails marketing, same thing. So like your PowerPoint presentations or anything like that, sometimes it can spit out a quick deck for you generically. It just all depends what you're using for it. So just basically, like I said, it's almost like a personal assistant where you have the idea you want to present or do, but you don't want to do all the busy work getting it there. It can do that first rough draft, that busy work, and save you a lot of time. Where it gets more technical is in the big data. So better reporting, decision making. So like executives can like analyze large data sets, trends, identify patterns that would be difficult or time consuming for humans to spot. So like, again, I'll use the example of Amazon. They're probably tied into like weather systems and trucking and all their different systems they have in their entire thing are all being looked at by AI, and they can probably make decisions like, anytime there's a snowstorm in the Midwest, all our trucks are delayed by this, but they can in real time then maybe reroute things using AI quicker than a normal human would have to kind of adjust things. So you can tie like the weather data set to your sales data set to all this stuff and tie it all together. And the efficiency just goes through the roof.
That's cool.
And then better report for decision making. So again, use cases, retail companies can use AI to predict customer behavior, manage inventory, and optimize pricing strategies during peak shopping seasons and look through. Again, you're always doing that anyway, but it usually was humans looking at reports and trying to analyze and stuff. And now you can basically run it through an AI filter, which will give you a rough idea. Could be even better. Cybersecurity is also extremely huge, mainly because it looks for indicators of compromise, which what that is we've explained in other episodes. Say Jenny logs into her computer every morning at 8 a.m. It's usually from the office. So it's weird if Jenny's logging into her computer at 2 a.m. on a Saturday. And it's a holiday. It's like all those are little indicators. And so AI looks at all these weird little indication and behaviors and can spit out and prevent an attack from happening before it even starts, because it can look at like your firewall logs, your computer logs, your M365 logs, and all these logs used to be in separate buildings. But now using AI, we can actually kind of put them under one roof and analyze them all at the same time and look for correlations, which can really help. Especially a lot of hackers will use, they call it living off the land, where they'll use actual programs built into your computer to do bad things. So it doesn't look from the outside like a wrong thing. You're just running, you're just running something. Antivirus isn't going to pick that up, but it's like, why is Ginny running Winget to download Python on her computer? Like she's never done that before. Like, so AI can look for various things to try to, see if there's anomalies in that.
Interesting.
And then same thing for incident response automating. So say an example would be, we detect a virus on Eli's computer for whatever reason. Some of the tools are actually so smart that they can actually take his thing, turn off his NIC, his network interface card. So it basically turns his internet off automatically. So now it's not going to spread to other computers within the network, and it can do certain things depending on what it's doing. So for automated responses, ticketing, notifying, all that kind of stuff, AI is really making it a lot quicker. So what used to be, maybe a 2-day time to get a response on tickets, now maybe it's even getting down to a day and a half or 1 day, depending on how much we can optimize that with AI and get faster responses.
So as the bad guys are using AI,
they're also, the good guys are also using AI in defense. It's just the next level of what they're using. Yep.
It's just a tool.
And then the last kind of part here is talking about just learning, using it with collaboration and how the long-term efficiency of it, right? So, the systems are not static AI. They do continually learn from new data. So AI now is going to be better in 2 or 3 years than what it is now in 3 months. It's evolving rapidly at the speed. Remember, the internet first came out, there was even no search engines. It was like phone book directories and pages you would go to, and the first search engine came out and it was mind-blowing. And so this is just the next iteration of technology that's going to take us there. A lot of times people get worried that the AI tools are going to just take over and they won't need humans anymore to do all these tasks. But realistically, that's not the case.
Switchboard operators.
Yeah, exactly. Think about the telephone switchboard operators. There'll be new jobs managing for it. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Or like when the tractors first came out, and people are like, why would I use this tractor that uses oil and not use gas and all these parts? I got a perfectly good horse right here. I can do it, and all I got to do is feed it grass, right?
The draft
and
horse breeders were like, no.
So it's a new technology. It will be adapted. There might be some disruption here and there, but overall, it's meant to be a human assistant rather than a replacement of various systems.
Not to derail or anything, but just speaking to the, some positions may be different or lost or anything like that. I was listening to you guys know him from New Charter Technologies, but there's a gentleman who, I think he worked for Cyber 74, but he was telling us how the future of coding is AI. And the language is going to just be not JavaScript or, C++, anything like that. It's just going to be English because the, AI is going to be able to translate it into, that. So
AI now.
Say don't go into coding, but make sure if you do, it has something to do with AI.
That's where I will see the displacement.
That was a prediction there.
One person who is really good, like you picture a team of coders who are making a program, maybe you got 20 people on a project, and then out of those coders, you probably got 1 or 2 guys who are just mad geniuses who can do it all. Those 2 people are going to be able to do the job of 20 now because they're going to be able to use AI, which you can spot check. You can go in and ask AI right now, even be like, create a program, a solitaire program in C+ for me, and it will just literally spit out a code. And now you can try to compile and run it. Chances it's going to fail the first time, but what you do is when you get a failure, you'll take the failure message, you go back to your AI, and you're like, hey, AI, I got this failure message. Can you fix it? And now it'll spit out the code again. And by just doing iterations like that, you can actually get a fully working program and not even know how to do programs. Go faster.
Way faster.
Certain people are going to use it to be more efficient, and it will displace people that maybe not that level, but then those people will be able to find hopefully other jobs using their skills or using AI to upskill themselves and things like that. So that is where
can't replace the amazing human brain.
No.
Yep.
You just can't.
Yep.
But what I wanted to say too about learning, how it learns
based on your past history.
Yes, because I save my chats in categories because it learns from that whole chat and then it can keep building on that, if that makes sense.
Yep.
And then I had like a learning chat where it helped me study for a Cisco exam. I literally uploaded
all your notes in it. And you're like, hey, what was the specs on this version? And it kind of go through your notes.
Find this in my notes.
Teachers hate it. AI is here.
But you have to use the right prompts too, because it'll also search the internet a little bit and then it'll give you different answers. If you want it to get just from that document, you have to specify that, which again brings me back to writing the prompt, right?
Yep.
So drop AI for that free cheat sheet.
Yep. And the last thing I'll put with this too is, AI is a game changer for businesses, drafting emails, all the stuff we already talked about. Mm-hmm. The one thing you want to be careful with as a business is you're not going to some open source AI tool that's not locked down and all of a sudden giving it like your business policies or business secrets, because that can be used. And it's once you give information, you're kind of giving up your rights to it. And there's still kind of a battle going on right now. So what you want to do is use like an M365. The best way to do is using an M365 AI tool. Like if you use M365, within M365, you can use Microsoft's AI, which is Copilot, restrict it to just say, I only want it to use data from our SharePoint files, our data here. Do not go to the internet. Do not share this with other people. And you can restrict it down to be used just internally at your company. And then within that, you also have to think about, do you want someone who is new to the company asking AI, please give me the salaries for everyone, and it's going to spit it out. You have to have permission-based information in there and set it up correctly using like Microsoft Purview and things. So if you're not If it sounds scary to you, you want to use AI, but you're not sure where to start, obviously you just reach out to us.
Yes,
We can go
let us
into your
know.
M365, help you configure it properly and get that enabled for your clients
Securely.
securely. You don't want to just turn it on and let everyone use AI willy-nilly, because you're just opening up security holes.
Exactly. You're letting them have access to all your data
Exactly.
when you should have a zero trust policy in place.
Only accountants should be able to ask AI accounting questions.
Exactly.
Things like that. You can set those rules up within it and then make sure that it's secure, safe, and that your data is not actually leaking to the internet or anywhere else. So
absolutely. You go to dstech.net to ask us that kind of thing, and then drop your questions. Let us know how you're using AI in your business.
Yeah.
Anything else?
I think that's it.
We're good. We'll see you next time.